Hello and welcome to Is This Your Card? Today we're looking at Cobra Shot. Cobra Shot is a 5-cost spell that does 3 damage to the enemy hero and 3 damage to the selected minion. Cobra Shot is 5 mana, which is quite a lot of mana. And what Cobra Shot does is allow you to do 3 damage to the enemy hero and simultaneously do 3 damage to an enemy minion. In fact, it actually allows you to do 3 damage to your own minion and 3 damage to the enemy hero, which is rather strange, but it's an interesting little effect. Cobra Shot is one of those spells that isn't necessarily the most useful thing in the world, but has a strangely unique effect. There isn't a single card that focuses on doing damage to a single minion and then doing damage specifically to the enemy hero. Swipe is the only card I could think of that is specifically targeted and does damage to the hero at the same time, which is rather interesting from the perspective of looking at things mechanically. But for 3 damage to the hero and 3 damage to a minion for 5 mana, that makes Cobra Shot really expensive for what it actually is. See, now, this is a decent card to scale with spell power. Like, put down a couple of spell damage and suddenly it's 5 damage to a minion and 5 damage to the hero, which is really good, because both would scale. But other than that, this spell doesn't really have much of a presence. I think this is one of those cards that was designed with the idea of building a spell power hunter, which to my knowledge no one has actually done before. And I honestly have to wonder, why? It seems like in a lot of these situations, a lot of spell power would really benefit a hunter, considering that traps proc spell power after the spells are made, so things like Explosive Trap actually benefit from spell power after the trap is triggered, not when the trap is played. This really allows you to do devastating amounts of damage with something like Explosive Trap. Cobra Shot in and of itself is very interesting because you always do 3 damage to the enemy hero, even if you target your own minion, allowing you to trigger a death rattle on your own minion if you wanted to, while simultaneously doing damage to the enemy hero. It's really a win-win situation in both scenarios. Cobra Shot is mechanically interesting, but never used because it doesn't involve hitting the face as hard as it could do for 5 mana, which is a real shame. I honestly feel like things like the meta for hunters and the meta for pretty much anything are a lot of the cause of why things that are this interesting and this mechanically cool aren't often used. Hopefully we'll see more of it in the future.